Alright, hello YouTube, this is Noe Snivy, and today I'm gonna try playing Katawa Shoujo. I know I've currently also got my Fate Stay Night Let's Play, which you can also go through my videos and find, if you want to. But I figured I also kind of wanted to do this, because this was my first ever visual novel, and I really do love it. It's really, really good. The writing is good. The stories are good. I haven't finished all the routes. The only route that I've really finished is Hanako's. That's mainly because my old computer kind of crashed a while ago, and I just never got around to re-downloading it. But yeah, I'm gonna try this. Yay! It's been a while, so... Alright, let's start. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for the couples of the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy, far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah, yes. The note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the wide-painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. The slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of the dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hisao? You came? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face the voice. I turn to face the voice of my dreams. My heart begins to race. Oh, look at that. I like the little snow effect there. It's really pretty. Iwakano? I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it. I just went into a female voice. I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result. Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me tense. I couldn't move a single muscle if I tried. My heart is pounding now as if it were trying to burst out of my chest and claim this girl for itself. Oh, by the way, just letting you know, I got adult content turned off. So, sorry! But yeah. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonous? The whatever noise is music to my ears. Iwakano flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls a long dark finger around her finger. What? Long dark finger? No. Twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Hisao? I reached up to tried to massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Hisao? My whole body freezes, save my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Hisao! The beating in my chest suddenly stops and I go weak at the knees. Oh gosh, that was loud. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Iwakano running towards me, all these fade to black. The last things I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwakano screaming for help and the incessant clatter of the branches above. Four Leaf Studios presents Katawa Shoujo. Heck yeah. But yeah, like I said, this was my first ever visual novel, and I freaking love this thing. In fact, it's my favorite visual novel, even if I've only played like 2 or 3 before. I really need to get into more of these. Visual novels are cool, as long as they don't go like super overrated and cliche, which I'm pretty sure a lot of them do, but yeah, visual novels. I'm even thinking about writing one myself. Like, what would you guys think about that? Snowy Snivy writes a visual novel. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I need to be actually good at drawing though, so yeah, not happening anytime soon. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you've left alone with your thoughts. So I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word. A foreign, alien one that you don't want to have to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently I've had it for a long time. They say it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. I really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I'd gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had already turned into a class project. Realism! Gosh, I hate it when that happens. Like, I remember a lot during elementary school when a classmate's parents or siblings would get sick or had some horrible condition or accident going on. We would all have to, like, make these little cards to, these little get well cards to send to whoever was ill or whatever. And it's a nice thought on when you first think about it, but then you also have to think of, how the person will feel when you stop getting those cards and they realize, holy crap, you were giving your kids grades to send me these cards. What the heck? It's a little sad. But, yeah. Realism. So yeah, sorry I kind of skipped through a few texts while I was pausing and restarting my recorder. So it only records at like 10-minute intervals, so sorry. But yeah, let's go through the text history here. And, oh yeah, class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Wakano was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyways. What a bitch. Okay, like, seriously? Oh, Hisao, you're so handsome. Why don't we go out? Or something. Oh, sorry, now that you have a heart condition, I'm afraid that I'm way too shallow to go out with you, so sorry. Gosh, I hate it when people do stuff like that. You love a person, you love them no matter what their condition. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. Okay. Never caught up. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment surgeries worked. So, I idly observed the scar that the surgeries had left on my chest slowly changed its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began to working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mess I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what kind of week it was. What day of the week it was. My bad. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would probably crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance that I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness of my chest would become so hard to bear that I put the books aside and just laid down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There's this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers and setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness he just did. Then he casually sits down at the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Ooh, what voice should I do here?
Hello, Hisao. How are you today?
I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him.
I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, blah blah blah. We all have medication sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription.
The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. What voice should I do for the dad? I only have one man voice.
So many.
I take it from his head and take a good look at myself. Take a look myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? Holy crap, that's scary. The absurdly long list of medications starts staring at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life, every day?
I'm afraid that this is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years.
Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all.
Also, I've spoken with your parents, and we believe that it is best if you don't return to your old school.
What?
Please calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say.
Oh, my bad.
Please, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say.
Calm down. The way he says it tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored.
We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students.
Disabled? What am I?
It has a 24-hour nursing staff and only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby.
Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff and you wouldn't have to make a hospital nearby by a selling point.
Of course, that's only if you want to go. But your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like it.
Why isn't the mom talking? It looks like I really don't have a choice.
Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a good job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education.
This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity.
Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school. Well, it's not the same one.
A special school, that's an insult. That's what I want to say. It's a step down.
It's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way.
Am I changing his voice every time? It always sounds like a drug dealer or something. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another.
Your father's right. Many of the graduates at the school have gone to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate.
I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me, but what can I do about it? A normal life's out of the question now. It's funny. I always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now, something that I could go back to school anyway. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. This is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like.
Act 1.
Life expectancy. I love the art in this game. Pretty awesome art. The gate looked far too pompous for what it is. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but I couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I don't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh cut grass and other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop to mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings limp behind the leafy canopies, but everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was a kid, I was told this was my new school. In the back of my head, it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kind of eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about the hospitals again. How they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main buildings, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with a bad posture noticing me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Nakai? Nakai. Why did I give him a female voice again?
So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom teacher and science teacher. My name is Muto.
I have no idea why I gave him that accent, but whatever.
Welcome.
He's the Count Muto. He's a vampire. I can imagine that, though, can't you? I mean, look at the dude's face. He could easily be a vampire or something. He's got those bags under his eyes and... No, maybe not. I don't know. They exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. I am so sorry that I keep tripping over my words here. I'm not a very good speaker, so... The head nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now.
Oh, should I go later?
Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Flaw!
So lame. Waiting for me. I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Yeah, of course, why not? You can already see I've already used this one, but I really see no purpose in asking why, so of course. Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be at the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. That's cool, then. Blah. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about the condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Muto opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Ah, get a grip. This is a big step, I know that. But there isn't any point in worrying so much about it, at least not this soon. I follow the teacher into the classroom and take a look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious cases of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high and there are lots of space left over around and in between the desks. Look, I believe her name's Maki, and there's Hanako, and then, oh my gosh, this looks like a male version of Haruhi Suzumiya. Can you not see it? An entire wall taken up by the blackboards and the high, old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs and metal frames. Simple and efficient. Ah! I can't get over that. It's like a gender-bend Suzumiya. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look like normal, like students in any other school. But then, why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them, only it's not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing a thumb on her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen to someone talking to you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway while listening to as he introduced me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see someone looking at me, a girl with really long, straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. Oh yeah, it's Peter Griffin in anime form! Yeah. But seriously, doesn't he look like a Peter Griffin from Family Guy? It was Family Guy, right? Yeah, Family Guy. He totally looks like Peter Griffin. If he were a student at Yamaku Academy. There is one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear end of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers me over the rims of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kind of cute. So is this cheery looking girl with pink hair sitting right next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please welcome our newest classmate. Blah. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except one girl in the front row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide my bowing and thanks for this applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisao Nakai, and after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope I get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Oh, awkward. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even when— Yep, sorry, 10-minute cutoff. Everyone seems to be satisfied with what little I said, though. A few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gone worse.
I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along with while letting my gaze sweep around the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intensely, and when he's done, they clap their hands together, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. Makes me feel a little bad. We're going to do some group work today, so I'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can talk with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. By the way, please don't tell them that your teacher is a vampire. She can explain everything you might want to know, and who else would be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh, right. Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. It's slowly turning into a really bad Italian accent. Heck yeah. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. I see more brown than gold. Whatever. Oh, I guess on those kinds of brands, I guess it's mostly just the shadow that's brown. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but... I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi Shi-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she was staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She was short yet carefully neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of her dainty nose, dark blue eyes seemed to be the alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. That seemed to alternate. Okay, whatever. It's nice to meet you. Ellipse. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk to people, and who better to explain things to you. I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. Ellipse. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he would have been standing up here for no reason, right? Right. He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today so soon. He-chan, right? He-chan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? I was just surprised. I never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits! You look just like I imagined. Ellipse. You look just like a He-chan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Ellipse. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Ellipse. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. He just stumbles with the hard word, but making it stick out of her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I kind of came straight to class today. Ellipse.
Oh, she does not look happy at that.
That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just with school, either. Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store. Really, Chi-chan?
Learn about where you're going. I guess I didn't bother to do that or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to doing this, even if I committed myself to going along with it half-assedly. But anyway, I didn't say anything and Misha signed something that ends in a shrug. What was that? Seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deep. That hits deep, bro.
You look down, are you okay?
Ellipse.
Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. Not a very good, simile, metaphor, whatever.
But yeah, the reason I said that wasn't a very good metaphor was, I don't know, I see a lot of kids at my school that just, like, smile and get all goofy and happy whenever they fail a test. It's like, seriously? They shouldn't be happy out of it. For some reason, they are. It annoys me. Anyways, yeah. There was Misha's famous wahaha. Alright.
Ellipse.
Oh, and another thing, you don't have to call Shi-chan something so formally like Hakanichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan.
Oh. Blush. Music's suddenly gone.
And ellipse.
Okay, that's too casual. Yeah, she didn't look too happy about that. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate.
Ellipse.
Yep, Shizune is fine.
Okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly. So I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assumed would be all business. Well, she still seems like that. Just less so, I guess. Ellipse. Oh my gosh, there's an exclamation mark too.
Huh? Wait, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work right now, or Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. Wahaha! That too!
Ellipse.
Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message.
Ellipse.
After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today. Okay.
The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, comparing aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily boring. Still, we finish a few minutes later earlier than anyone in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are very capable. They're quite different though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bell rings, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch! Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning to me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I meet Muto the vampire down the bottom floor. Just like everything in this school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open to the courtyard towards the main gate.
It's the cafeteria!
Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so she seems to alarm.
There's a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realized that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. Oh, nice! It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital eating the portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. Sounds very bitter about this. I picked something at random and followed Shizune to a table sitting opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizune.
Lips.
I don't understand signs, and the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is polite? Do you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guys, so you should ask if there is something. I wonder. You know, I gotta stop here. I really gotta stop here. This has been going on for a while. But, what I want you guys to do is I want y'all to, comment for anybody actually watching this. Please comment and tell me which route you want me to go towards. Like, which one of the routes do you want me to go for? Do you want me to go for Shizune? Or like, the other girls down the road, like Rin, or Hanako, or Lily? Whatever you want. Sounds cool with me. Is there another girl? I can't remember. I feel like there is, but, hold on. Is there? Oh yeah, and Emmy. So which one? Do you want Lily here? Rin? Shizune? Lily or little Hanako? Please comment. Yes, this brings... So tomorrow, or whenever I decide to film again, we'll decide on, like, which route we want to go on and make decisions based on that. So, thank you, and goodbye.